Let us continue with our reading and analysis of William Cooper's poem on the receipt of my mother's picture. My mother, when I learned that thou wast dead, say, was thy conscious of the tears I shed? Hovered thy spirit over thy sorrowing son? Wretch, even then, life's journey just begun. Perhaps thou gavest me, though unseen, a kiss, perhaps a tear, if souls can weep in bliss. Ah, that maternal smile! It answers, yes. I heard the bell toll on thy burial day. I saw the hearse that bore thee slow away. And turning from my nursery window, drew a long, long sigh and wept a last adieu. But was it such? It was. Where thou art gone, adieus and farewells are a sound unknown. May I but meet thee on that peaceful shore, the parting sound shall pass my lips no more. Thy maidens grieved themselves at my concern, oft gave me promise of a quick return. What ardently I wished, I long believed, and disappointed still, was still deceived. By disappointment every day beguiled, dupe of tomorrow, even from a child. Thus many a sad tomorrow came and went, till all my stock of infant sorrow spent, I learned at last submission to my lot. And though I less deplored thee, never forgot. These are the lines that we are going to discuss today. Uh, Let me give you the meanings of some of the words in these lines. Look at the word hovered. Hovered thy spirit. Hovered thy spirit over thy sorrowing son. Hovered means moved near me. Moved near. Wretch. The poet calls himself a wretch. Wretch because he was in a very miserable condition. He felt very, very unhappy uh, and therefore calls his state a very pitiful state. Bliss. In the 26th line, the word bliss means perfect happiness, if souls can weep in bliss. Ah, that maternal smile. Maternal? Motherly. Full of care, full of affection, full of warmth. Then I heard the bell tolled on thy burial day. Tolled means rung. And then I saw the hearse that bore thee slow away. Hearse is the funeral car that is used to carry a coffin to the graveyard. And then the word adieu. Adieu means goodbye, farewell. And then the poet says, may I but meet thee on that peaceful shore. May I? May is suggestive of wishful thinking. The poet wants to be reunited to his mother after his death. The parting sound, the cry of separation, the pain of separation, shall pass my lips no more. The maidens grieved themselves at my concern. Grieved, they felt sorry for the young boy, for the child. What ardently I wished. Ardently means eagerly. The poet wished. What did the poet wish? He wished to see his mother back again. So ardently, passionately, he wanted to believe in what the maidens promised him, zealously. Then in the next line, you have the word deceived. Deceived, the poet as a child was misled by the promises made by the maidens. Beguiled again is a similar kind of a word, meaning he was tricked into believing something. Dupe of tomorrow. Dupe is dupe means to lie to somebody in order to make him believe something. And here the maidens, the mother's maidens, wanted him to believe that the mother would return soon. He was tricked, he was deceived, he was beguiled, also because he wanted to believe in that thing. Then you have the word stock. Stock of infant sorrow. Stock of infant sorrow? The store of infant sorrow. And in the next line you have the word submission, which means acceptance. He learned acceptance to his lot, to his destiny, to his fate. But though I less deplored thee, never forgot. Deplored thee? He continued to lament. He continued to mourn. He continued to grieve. He cried. So what he says, but though I less deplored thee, we say that time is a great healer. So with time, he learned to accept his destiny, his fate. The store of infant sorrow was spent, and he lamented less. But that doesn't mean that he forgot his mother. And this poem tells us very vividly how he remembers his mother. Okay, so what is the poet saying in these lines? Let us look in detail. So we see that in these lines, Cooper begins a series of questions. He talks to the picture of his mother as if she were alive. He reveals the pain, the desolation that he experienced when she left him for her heavenly abode. He asks her if she was aware of his tears, of his pain, of his fears. Did her spirit move near her unhappy, miserable son, whose life had just begun? He was only 6 at the time. And though he could not see, he imagines that she must have given him a kiss or a tear to console him, to comfort him. Although in the very next line he wonders if souls can weep in bliss, in happiness, in perfect happiness. The poet assumes that the soul is happy when free from the constraints of mortal life, and therefore he questions if souls can weep in bliss. He looks at the picture of his mother. her maternal smiling face affirming her care. He says, ah, that maternal smile, it answers yes. He remembers the ringing of the bell on her burial day and the funeral car that slowly carried her away, and how he wept for a long time before he finally bid a last farewell to his beloved mother. The memories of that unfortunate day are still fresh in his memory and revive his grief and his personal loss. He reflects that in her world, that is, in her heavenly abode, goodbyes, farewells, adieus might be unknown concepts. And the poet ardently wishes to be reunited to his mother again on that peaceful shore that is heaven, as he believes that he would never be separated from her ever again there. The poet remembers how her mother's maidens, young women, friends, relatives, they felt sorry and apprehensive for him, and how they often humored him with promises of his mother's quick return. And as he eagerly wished to believe in that, uh, in that, uh, you know, uh, he was led uh, to believe in it wholeheartedly to all that they said. And thus he continued to believe in their false promises for a very long time. And therefore he says, dupe of tomorrow, even from a child. So he says, thus he was deceived then as a child, and for the days to come, at last, till at last, all his store of childhood sorrow was spent, and he learned to accept his fate. He learned to submit to his lot. He learned to accept that this was his destiny, to continue in this life without the care, affection, and support of his mother. And then he says that though with time he mourned the death of his mother less, he asserts that he never forgot her. But though I less deplored thee, never forgot.